About 2 months ago, I made a video exclusively showing Resident Evil 9's VR mod by Talemann, and even though there's been some updates along the way, I've always known there would be a final version of the mod, and this is it. It's absolutely feature-packed, making it one of the most, if not the most impressive community-driven VR mod ever made for virtual reality, turning Resident Evil Requiem into a true native VR game. Firstly, it's mega easy to install. Head over to the link in the description and download Talemann's mod. Drop it in the main games folder, and then download Mr. Survivor's RE Framework Nightly Installer. This will scan your system for any other Resident Evil games, and then you can install the PureDark renderer. But why is this important? Well, the first time I played Resident Evil 9's VR mod using my 5070 Ti, the game ran well, but I wouldn't say it ran great, especially in the opening part of the game, and this led to some graphical compromises, going through settings and messing around with DLSS, and to be clear, regardless of what I chose, I never truly achieved a silky smooth frame rate. And I want to add that I think for VR modding that's pretty normal, as these flat screen games tend to look pretty high end, and Resident Evil 9 is no exception. But when you install PureDark renderer, it replaces other rendering methods like Meta's asynchronous space warp, and it almost gives you double the frame rate that I experienced last time I played it, therefore making this an essential part of the Resident Evil modding process going forwards. In my testing, I was hitting around 90 FPS pretty much all the time, and this game looks absolutely jaw-dropping with fantastic clarity. The opening part of the game on Renwood City streets is simply nothing short of mind-blowing, and it offers visuals on par with the best I've ever seen in VR. For most of my gameplay, I used MetaQuest 3 and MetaLink, and the clarity combined with the detail and the smooth frame rate is actually unbelievable to see, and there's minimal compromises. I've done my best to capture some good gameplay, because recording the way I do to get the best visuals takes quite a toll on my system, and therefore when I was recording I experienced some frame drops, but when I wasn't using OBS this game run buttery smooth, and I can play the entire game using DLSS, on balance mode and sometimes quality mode. This is one of my favourite games to launch in 2026. It's also one of my favourite Resident Evil games, and it's now one of my favourite VR games thanks to Talemann's mod, and there's much more to talk about. So if you stuck around to this point, why not leave a like and get subscribed for more VR content. Resident Evil 9 VR now has HMD orientated movement, which is how I play all my native VR games, as I'm sure most of you do, and it makes a massive difference to how the game feels to play. But adding this has also brought up a slight penalty, because sometimes turning your head while walking can feel at odds with trying to turn with the joystick at the same time, and this is especially true if you play this game seated, which I'm pleased to say you can play the whole game seated by the way, which I think is actually excellent, but this is much less of an issue if you play standing, because you'll be physically turning anyway. The game already has smooth turning, but now features snap turning with 30, 45 and 90 degree angles. You can crouch by clicking in the right joystick as normal, or now you can physically crouch if you play standing, and this is a nice inclusion for immersion. All the items you can pick up to look at or open up to search for clues or simply read are rendered correctly. You can physically hold Grace's and Leon's flashlight, which automatically switches to your head when you two-hand any weapon. And when it comes to immersion, you can now physically parry attacks. We also have full manual reloading, and I feel this is the real star of the show, because if you fully empty a magazine or clip, press the B button to eject, grab new ammo from your waist, you will have to physically recock the weapon, or in the case of Requiem, slide the bullet in and just flip the gun. And every gun in Resident Evil 9 has unique mechanics, from the SMGs, the pump-action shotguns and the rifles. We also have character-aware recoil, which can be adjusted so you can tune in how much kick you want when firing. And finally, we can also use syringes manually. With over 400 hours of testing and other modders helping out along the way, plus the inclusion of Mr. Survivor's Nightly Installer for all Resident Evil games, we finally have the ultimate version of Resident Evil 9 without Capcom shamefully lifting a finger. It does still have its clunky moments. Now and again when you're watching the fantastic cutscenes, if your character's looking at a monitor, maybe nothing is displayed, or your character simply goes black, but to be honest, this is very rare and does not affect my enjoyment of the game at all. comfortable. Sometimes, because this game now has full body IK, Grace's or Leon's shoulders will enter your view, or your elbows will simply look a bit weird for a second or two. But overall, this is a truly fantastic modern achievement, and because it's so good, I've now started my own game all over again, because it's simply the best and most stunning way to play Resident Evil 9. Oh, and one more thing, Talemann has added his own sort of Easter egg. If you hold the X button and then move the right joystick in any direction, you'll start hearing Leon's cheesy one-liners.
These pups could use more training. Sorry, but I'm not on the menu. Give me a goddamn break. I'll take out as many of you fuckers as I can. Every single time. It's
nothing important, but it's actually a really fun thing to mess around with. I look forward to hearing your thoughts on this mod when it releases later today, and all the links you need are in this video's description. And if you get stuck, head over to the Flat2VR Discord, as it's a really passionate community, and there are many people in there always willing to help. Well, that's all I've got for you today. Be sure to leave a like and get subscribed for more VR content, and I'll see you on the next one.